And we have the top offense in the Big 12 in Oklahoma State, averaging 84. Let's see which side of the basketball wins this afternoon.
We should say it's not as if Oklahoma State does not defend, but the steal numbers aren't quite as flashy. They're pretty good keeping points off the board as well. A couple of close-range misses for the Cowgirls to start this game, and West Virginia will have a chance to score first.
Yeah, Oklahoma State loves to run an offense out of the jump ball with that back screen for their post player, Tenan Magassa, and she's got to knock those down.
Outside to Shaw, and the three-pointer is good, an early lead for West Virginia.
Well, Shaw, you can't forget about, everyone talks about J.J. Quinterly and Jordan Harrison as the dynamic duo, but Sydney Shaw, don't sleep on her. Last game she scored 19 points against Texas Tech.
Long pass found Gray. Shaw averages 13 a game and shoots about 39% from three. He's a very, very capable three-point shooter. I'll see underneath. Magassa, the size advantage there, and lays it in.
Yeah, that was a great execution by Oklahoma State. They knew West Virginia was going to come out in that 2-3 matchup zone, and that's one way to beat it, is knock down the shot at the high post.
Quinterly picked up her dribble. That's off the mark. Slapped out towards us and saved by Harrison.
Well, I love the matchup between Micah Gray for Oklahoma State and Jordan Harrison. They were high school teammates, so I think they know each other's game really well.
High school teammates right down in Oklahoma City. Gray attacking into some contact, and the charge is called.
Great job by getting position by the defender. Got there before the offense left her feet. Really good charge take right here. Yeah, great pass. Yeah,
on that three.
You're right. That was incredible.
Making some things happen. Harrison with the floater this time. It's off the mark. Hurd with the rebound for Oklahoma State.
Well, that's one thing Oklahoma State wants to do, rebound and go. They like to play fast and like to shoot the three.
Magassa missed that first attempt, but has hit her last two.
Adam, what was funny is that she was wide open on the miss, but she had someone in her face on that time and knocked it down.
There's a mid-range from Quinterly, but doesn't make that one. Oklahoma State with a very dangerous mid-range shooter as well. On the bench right now is Jane Wooten. We'll see her in not too long.
Yeah, that freshman has no fear. She does an extreme brings the energy off the bench, but great job of defending as well.
Coach Kellogg for West Virginia must be liking what he's seeing early as they get some pressure out on the ball again and force the jump ball. Just in his second season at West Virginia, but he's got plenty of successful experience.
Well, I know that success extremely well. Mark Kellogg and myself have been friends a long time and coached against each other when we were Division II basketball coaches in the state of Colorado. So I have a lot of respect for that man.
Blackston, that ball kind of just appeared at her fingertips there. It hit her pretty quick, and she's able to control it and lay it in. Showed some good hands on a surprising look.
Yeah, you're right, and I love West Virginia. Oklahoma State knows that they're going to come out and press a lot this afternoon, and they're 2-2-1, and I know Oklahoma State's going to try to get that basketball in the middle of the court.
For J.C. Hoyt, in her third season as the Oklahoma State head coach, didn't like how that call went going West Virginia's way, but she is still working her way back. Just had a baby in December and coaching her team through a Big 12 season. As an offensive foul will give the ball back to her Cowgirls.
Talk about strong women. She is a perfect example of that, and yeah, the baby is just absolutely adorable, and I'm happy for her and her husband Daniel. What a great addition to the Cowgirl family.
Harlow was on the road with the team in the win at Cincinnati on Wednesday, 64-48. The Cowgirls, 64 points. That's way below what they're used to scoring, but they really put the clams down defensively in that game.
Yeah, they're averaging 84 points per game, #1 in the Big 12, and they have 4 guards on the outside that can knock down the ball.
Speaking of knocking down threes, Aussie, who's been struggling a little bit from the perimeter, gets one to go there.
Well, that's one thing about Aussie. It's so funny. It's not really funny. I mean, we back up on that. When shooters miss a few shots, it kind of gets mental, a little bit. And so I know they've been working with Anna Gred, and she's just a great shooter.
Blackston buries a response triple, which is big for West Virginia. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But for Aussie, I mentioned she's been struggling a little bit. She's still shooting 37%, which is an incredible number.
Yeah, that's struggling, isn't it?
Yeah, if you can struggle and still shoot that high from three, you must be an awfully effective shooter. Gray, go ahead.
Yeah, you're saying she's knocked down 18 consecutive free throws. I'm saying it now so we won't jinx her later, Adam.
Good call. Gray gets bumped, 5 to shoot. Across to Aussie, it's deflected out of bounds with 2.8 seconds. going back to that, well, they're going to say that was off of Oklahoma State. So we take a look here at Asi, knocking down the triple and then coming right back on the other end. Blackston, the 5th-year player, the transfer in from the University of Colorado, was able to hit the 3 in response, and that's one thing that's going to be important for West Virginia today, kind of punching back. Can they take a run from Oklahoma State and find a way to fight through that? Yeah,
that's what Mark Kellogg stated to us, that he wants to set the tone, the pace early in this game and make the first punch, and Oklahoma State right now is feeling a little bit of that.
West Virginia leads by 1. The deflection will keep it with the Mountaineers. Wooten, as we mentioned earlier, has entered the game. Heward into the contest as well for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, she's the Energizer Bunny for sure, and Wooten is going to, freshman Gatorade Kansas Player of the Year, shooting 55% from the field, does an amazing job.
And she stays in front there and forces the travel. And that's one thing that Coach Hoyt talked a lot about early on in the season, was the need for the Cowgirls to defend on ball. And you see a really good example from Wooten right there.
Well, compared to last season, Adam, they have the depth to do it. I mean, those players know if they go out and just play all out for 2 to 3 minutes, they're going to have a great teammate coming on the floor to replace them. And so if you don't, Coach Hoyt has told them, well, you can come sit by me. You've got to give the energy.
Last year, you almost can't even say that they didn't have depth, because they really had the opposite. As a 10-second violation will give the ball back to West Virginia. I mean, Annegret Asi had to move over. She usually plays off the ball. She had to play point guard most of last year for Oklahoma State. So not only did they not have depth, they were playing players out of position, really.
And that's what I experienced last season for me. I mean, when you have players that have to play different positions, I mean, that's some growing pains. I don't care what level it is, but they really have paid off of bringing these transfers in this season.
Nice find underneath for West Virginia as the ball is deflected out of bounds, and the pressure, it'll stay with Oklahoma State. Watson made that last bucket, and it was Harrison with the assist. West Virginia's moving the ball well on the offensive end.
Yeah, that's what they do. And I mean, when you have dynamic guards like they do, and really their post player is a finesse player. She's versatile. She can knock down the 3, and so it's a tough matchup.
There's one of those steals, again, 2nd in the country in steals per game. Quinterly finishes after the steal, and West Virginia goes up 5.
She does such a great job of anticipating the pass. One pass away, she gets up and denies the passing lane. Just last season made the defensive all Big 12 team, and just an outstanding player.
Heward missed the open look from the corner. West Virginia already on a 7-0 run. That's deflected out of bounds. And I haven't seen a direction yet. Not sure whose ball it is, but it's a media timeout in one way or the other.
And J.J. Quinterly, one of the best defenders in the Big 12, turning her defense. And Mark Kellogg has done an amazing job at West Virginia, actually every stop. And he talked about just the buy-in from this team on the defensive end. And when you look at those incredible stats, you can see they definitely have.
Here's an opportunity for Oklahoma State. Jaden Wooten has checked back in, and Wooten and Heward, both off the bench for Oklahoma State, are generally spark plugs, but they both struggled a little bit in that first half. They're going to have a chance to impact the second half, and already moving with an assist that time to Gray.
Well, against Cincinnati in the last outing for the Cowgirls, it was Jaden Wooten, Macy Heward that came in, and that really sparked them to go on a run to get that victory.
Quinterly called for the travel. Magassa was there to help affect the shot as well. The Cowgirls, we talked about West Virginia's defense. Oklahoma State has forced 14 turnovers. They're only -2 in the turnover category. That may be about to change. It is. A travel called against Asi. It'll go right back to West Virginia.
That's the turnovers. I mean, it seems like when you mention fast break points, it's like you can't get into rhythm or flow just because, one, the press, but two, just turning the basketball over so much.
We talked about that some off the air in the break. It feels like there's not been a whole lot of flow to this basketball game. It's been very well contested, very physical game, but it doesn't seem like either team's really got much of a rhythm.
You bet. And you can see Oklahoma State packing it in.
Kick to the corner. Now back out to Quinterly. Well contested on the pull-up. It's short. Rebound tipped free, taken in by West Virginia.
So that's what's going to be the determining. Oh, wow.
Wooten takes it away on the long pass. The freshman attacks. Right-hand layup. Good.
And the crowd goes wild. You got to love those momentum plays. They're just fun basketball, and it just ignites what Oklahoma State wants to do. Make West Virginia turn the basketball over and go score easy layups.
And what have we heard all year from this Oklahoma State staff about Jaden Wooten? That she's fearless. She had 1 assist, 3 turnovers in the first half. Here in the second half, already an assist and a run-through steal in the bucket. And now after the miss, the Cowgirls gather the rebound, leading by 6 and a chance to push it to 3 possessions.
If Jaden Wooten is...
There's an offensive foul. Magassa clearing space on, I don't even know if you want to call it moving screen,
yeah.
but she basically moved her out of the, it was more like a block, like in football.
It was. We talked about that earlier, but how about Jaden Wooten at 5'6"? She's a freshman. I was going to say this a while ago. If I'm going into a dark alley, I'm taking this young lady with me. She is just a dog in the fight. Got to love that energy that young lady brings to the court.
This 6-point lead matches the largest of the, rather is the largest of the game for Oklahoma State. Magassa comes flying across the lane to block that out of bounds.
But what great timing on that block, and that's what she brings to this team. Uses her length. She is a true rim protector, but just that rim protection, great block. It allows her guard to get up and really pressure the basketball.
Shaw, very capable three-point shooter, tried to drive it out to a different three-point shooter in Blackston. Didn't fire it that time. 5 to shoot for West Virginia, and it's kicked out of bounds.
Great defense. Great defense from Oklahoma State, containing the dribble, getting them deep into the shot clock, as they mentioned, as an adjustment at halftime, making West Virginia shoot the basketball under 8 seconds.
Cowgirls with a chance to expand on their largest lead of the ball game. Looking for a victory that would put them no worse than tied for 3rd in the league standings after a few weeks of play. Near corner. Smith, got hammered. She'll go to the line. Well, he said it's been a physical game so far.
It has. It really has. But that was a good offensive possession from Oklahoma State. What I liked about it is they moved the basketball. We always say sharing is caring, right? Give up a good shot for a great one, and the great one was just the take from the baseline corner.
It appears to me, but you're the basketball coach, so I'll ask you, it seems like we're seeing more passes with more purpose in the second half of Oklahoma State. We saw a lot kind of parallel to the free throw line in that first half, and it caused a lot of steals. Seems like they're moving the ball more intentionally.
But listen, Adam, if you move the basketball side to side, the defense usually will always make a mistake. You can expose a weaker defender if you do that, and Oklahoma State has done that, as you mentioned, coming out in this 3rd quarter.
The Cowgirls were down 10 with just a few minutes to play before, just a minute to play before halftime. They now find themselves up 8 as we approach a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, it started with Staley Hurd in that first possession out of the locker room, attacking and scoring at the rim, and that just ignited this Oklahoma State offense.
Cowgirls pushing the pace after the rebound. Hurd attacks. Oh, an offensive foul.
Well,
this one actually Coach Hoyt seems to agree with. So we seem to all be on the same page on this one. She was immediately nodding her head yes. Okay. The crowd didn't like it, but where we've had some disagreement between coaches and officials today, I think everybody was mostly on the same page with that.
Well, let's look. Staley, oh yeah, she just extended that left arm. You've got to give credit to Jordan Harrison of taking that charge again. That's her 2nd charge of the afternoon.
It is not easy to stay in front of Staley Hurd.
No.
She's very athletic. She's quick with the basketball. So to move your feet and be in the right position is tough.
I may have to trip her rather than taking the charge.
3-pointer knocked down from Blackston, who's up to 16 points. That's her first bucket of the second half, but she's made a living outside the arc today.
She has, and like I said, a finesse post player, but coming into this game, 15 for 44 from the 3.
High post, Hurd moves it.
There's that ball movement, Adam.
Hurd inside, can't finish, but she's fouled.
I think there was a great take from Staley Hurd because she can muscle her way in. She likes that physicality of the game. And so to draw that foul and get to the free throw line, really good possession, but next time it may not be, oh, that jump stop. That was beautiful, but she drew that second defender, and Jaden Wooten is also wide open at that baseline corner, so that's maybe an option if they run that play again.
And that play kind of started with Hurd finding Wooten. She drove into the paint, found Wooten, and then it came all the way back around the world to another Hurd drive.
I like to always say, not good things happen in the paint when you're on defense. Keep it out of there. Have that no paint mentality.
Oklahoma State 9 for 12 at the line today. West Virginia 9 for 9. Both teams have shot it well at the stripe. Shot clock is off for the Mountaineers here in a 5-point ball game.
And you can see Oklahoma State going back into their zone like they like to do at the end of quarters.
Three-pointer from the corner is short. Magassa rebound and a tie ball. Possession there will keep it with West Virginia with 3 seconds before the end of the quarter.
Yeah, I think Tenen just, you know, we always tell post players to keep the ball high. She's at 6'6". She lowered it to below her chin, and if you do that, you're just as tall as the guard in front of you, so you've got to keep the basketball high and keep those elbows out.
What does West Virginia have off the baseline OB here?
Little screen-to-screener action.
Wooten deflects it. It's loose and taken away by the Cowgirls, and they prevent the shot. They didn't get a look at the basket, but they prevented the shot from West Virginia.
Yeah, they have 25.
The Cowgirls are plus 13 since just before that shot left Asi's hand to hit the half-court buzzer beater. Three-pointer straight away, in and out.
Well, that's what Oklahoma State does best. Number one offense in the Big 12. They want to shoot threes. They want the defense to collapse. Perfect example of that with the knockdown three by Micah Gray.
9.5 threes per game as a team is top 10 in the country. A tough runner in the lane there for Harrison goes as a response.
I mean, she is a water bug, is she not? I mean, she's a quick first step and to elevate over some length defensively. Great shot by Harrison.
That's stark contrast to me, who is not a water bug. I just immediately sink anytime I step into that.
You would think I have cement blocks wrapped around my ankles. I'm with you.
Hurd with the finish. Had that arm dangerously wrapped around the defender, but able to get by and get the bucket.
Well, that's one thing that J.C. Hoyt told me, is that she challenged Staley Hurd this season to do something more, and that is leadership. And she is showing that leadership by example here today.
Ball knocked free, still corralled by West Virginia. Smith with a nice one-on-one defense to get her to the corner. Blackston for three, too strong. Long rebound snagged by Gray for Oklahoma State. This game is kind of teetering on the precipice here if the home team can get another bucket. Asi behind the back, off the mark from three. And out of bounds, it'll go back to West Virginia. So the flip side of that,
3-point shootout now.
For West Virginia, you got to find a way. We talked about this in the first half. You got to find a way to punch back before this game starts to get away.
Yeah, and they do, and they've got to rely on the defensive end. But with Staley Hurd right there, that we talked about, that high post catch and going one-on-one to get to the rim. She is they'll put Micah Gray there too at the high post because she's such a strong, big-bodied guard, and so that's a great adjustment coming out of half.
Shaw couldn't turn the corner, and then pegs a defender on the dome. It's out of bounds off West Virginia. Sorry, a teammate of Watson wore that one in the head.
Well, right then, you know, I would, if I'm West Virginia, I would think a little bit more about getting the ball to Blackston. She's knocked down some quality threes. Tenen Magassa is sagging off of her on the catch. I would find her spotting up around that three-point line and try to get back into this game.
Hurd squares up underneath. Taken away by Blackston. Another steal. West Virginia hasn't converted these into points at a very high rate today, though.
Well, look, that's 3 players back on 4 in Oklahoma State's defensive transition. Did a really good job. They may be giving up that offensive board just to get back to stop the ball early.
Harrison, a beautiful move to create space, but didn't get the bucket. Cowgirls with a chance again to extend what's currently an 8-point lead. Largest lead of the game for the Cowgirls. Hurd to the rim. Finish and one.
Adam, if you want to change the momentum and get the home crowd to their feet, give the ball to Staley Hurd. One-on-one, she's exposing that left elbow, getting to the rim, drawing the foul, doing what she does best, taking this team on her back and trying to point to this victory. I mean, she's an incredible player.
West Virginia on a more than 2-minute scoring drought as the Cowgirls have kind of imposed their will. Hurd up to 16 points, double digits now in the second half for the all Big 12 player a year ago.
Well, now West Virginia's going into some of their set plays, going off of that double stagger away from the ball, trying to isolate their post player.
Ball was tied up. It'll stay with West Virginia, but it seems like we're seeing Oklahoma State turn up the pressure on the defensive end right now as well.
Yeah, I mean, they feed off their offense, and they've had some big and one moments, and so that makes any offensive-minded teams play a little bit harder on the defensive end.
Crowd's getting behind them as well. There's a mid-range bucket that time for Quinterly. Those are her first points of the second half. She's only got 7 today.
I was about to ask you, Adam, if that was her first shot, because she's been a little quiet. She is the the leading scorer on this team, and so I expect her to go to work.
Hurd couldn't get the mid-range jumper on the other end. Shaw on the right wing. Quinterly has taken 10 shots today, but only 3 have gone in. Shaw driving. Now Watson. A turnaround, too strong, and a foul on the rebound. Igareva had possession for Oklahoma State through the half.
I like the dribble drive offense that Mark Kellogg and his staff put in a couple of weeks ago. It just, one of the things it does, it adds to the spacing, allows players to be creative on the offensive end and be able to use their athletic ability.
Not everybody on the same page there. Gray, too strong. The whole crowd is helping Igareva find that basketball a moment ago.
Do they get the assist for that?
They should.
Yeah.
Quinterly flings up a shot, got bumped. Foul called against Gray as J.C. Hoyt, I think, not happy with the defense on that last play.
She may go, I mean, don't mess with J.C. Hoyt. She just had a baby. She's, you have 5 children, lack of sleep, right? I wouldn't aggravate her right now.
She might have also wanted a 3-second call, as she was saying something with 3 up there to the official.
Her mom has the little one on court side under their basket. Just a great moment for the Hoyt family.
Ran into Harlow upstairs, actually, before the game.
You did?
Not too long before we started. Quinterly missed the first, got the second, and that's a sign that she may be a little bit off today. 81.5% free throw shooter. She doesn't miss many.
No, she doesn't.
Head to Aussie. 10-point Cowgirl lead. Sorry, 8-point Cowgirl lead, and there's a foul.
What a physical game this is here in GIA.
And honestly, Latricia, that was kind of one of the questions for this Cowgirl team after the non-conference. They just straight up dominated several teams in that non-conference, and they hadn't had a lot of real physical play, and they've lived up to that challenge so far in league play.
Adam, that you're spot on about that. I mean, I kind of was concerned coming in on how Oklahoma State would handle West Virginia's pressure, because I know that they're an incredible defensive team, and I think they've done extremely well. Obviously, up by 8 with 5:30 to go in this game.
They've turned it over 21 times, but have forced 18. There's an offensive rebound, but it's blocked by Magassa. Now a turnover going the other direction. Perhaps too aggressive for the Cowgirls there. Quinterly pitches it back. To Quinterly again. Back to the corner, a little 2-man game. 3-pointer goes.
Talk about an unselfish play there by J.J. Quinterly. Looking for her, giving up an opportunity to score the 3 and gave it up to the higher percentage shooter.
Watson, the South Dakota transfer, one of the teams that's been near the top of the Summit League for many years here recently. She's played plenty of winning basketball. Under 5 to play. It's just a 5-point game. That seems like an eternity at this point. Off the leg of Hurd and out of bounds. It's turnover number 23 for Oklahoma State as West Virginia is on a 6-0 run and a timeout on the floor.
Well, it's just an amazing game. It's fun to call, but just to give up that pass to the corner for that open three, that's what you want to see from West Virginia.
We won't whirly bird anymore. 2 to 3.
West Virginia in a good one, just 5 points separating the teams with 4.5 minutes to go. Both of these teams came in top 5 in the league in the Big 12. The Cowgirls have lived up to that, mostly because they're shooting it better than 60% in the second half. West Virginia has struggled from the field, but forcing these turnovers has helped keep them in the game.
It has, and Adam, as we discussed, Oklahoma State increased their defense coming out, holding West Virginia in the second half to only 21% shooting. And that's unusual for them. As you can see, the field goal percentage Big 12 leaders, they're usually shooting 47%. And if Oklahoma State can keep up the 62% shooting, they're going to win this game.
I think Coach Hoyt may be more concerned about keeping up the 21% defensive field goal percentage, because if they can defend like that down the stretch, they're going to be in good shape. Three-pointer off the mark and a big-time rebound from Smith. That's the other thing we talked about, the rebounding margin. The Cowgirls are now actually still -2 in that category after that last rebound. It's been close throughout.
Yeah, and that's been fun to watch as these young guards, you know, there's a lot of rebounding guards on both teams, and to see that and not just have the 5-player do all the rebounding is great.
Offensive rebound. Smith can't finish with the left hand. Hurd comes to get it. She's too strong. Rebound tapped out. Taken in by Oklahoma State. Quinterly had reached out to it but couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, what a great, I mean, this is such a fun game. Both teams are playing so hard. Both coaches do an incredible job. This is just great women's basketball.
Smith off the mark. And a foul on Magassa going over the back on that last play. A long possession there for Oklahoma State, but no points.
Well, I can't wait to see what both coaches pull out of their toolbox here in the last 3:35 to pull this victory off. I mean, Mark Kellogg has won at every stop. He's doing it now. Incredible coach. J.C. Hoyt, same thing. Incredible coach. 34-9 here at home. I can't wait for the adjustments here in the last 3 minutes.
Shaw on the drive, kicks out. Offensive rebound a moment ago for West Virginia. Kept the possession alive, and there's a foul on Alexia Smith. Just her first personal by my count. It's a 6-0 run for the Mountaineers over the last 3.5 minutes, as the Cowgirls haven't scored for nearly 4, but maintain a 5-point advantage.
You know, in Smith, she's 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from the 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, but 9 rebounds. She's doing so much more to impact this game in a positive way.
Looking for the wing 3, too strong. And then a foul against Oklahoma State.
I was wondering, I saw that contact, and I was wondering which way the official was going to call.
And that is not only the 14th foul, but that's the 4th personal on Micah Gray. She's going to have to be very careful as Jaden Wooten checks in. Gray will come to the bench. Big minutes upcoming for the true freshman here.
Yeah, you've got to, this end of the game, you've got to stay locked in. You've got to stay disciplined in your defense approach. Don't take chances. Stay solid. You're ahead.
Around Wooten and finishes. Tough look. Cowgirls, 5 seconds to get it across the timeline. Dumped ahead to Smith. Vega Rev been in the game right now for Oklahoma State as well. We've not seen Macy Heward much in the second half for the Cowgirls.
No, you haven't.
Hurd driving, kicks. Wooten open from the corner. Off the mark, short. The rebound slapped out of bounds. It'll stay with Oklahoma State. But, Coach, you called that earlier. You said, hey, on that Hurd drive, Wooten is open in the corner, and they found her there, just didn't hit the shot.
Yeah, and they're leaving her open. I mean, she shoots 43% from the 3. I know in this afternoon's game, I believe she is 0 for 1, right? That's a first shot, three-pointer that she took, but she can knock it down. So I'm anxious to see if they continue to leave her open.
Magassa has checked into the game for Oklahoma State. They immediately go into her on the block. Double team, kick out. Smith from the mid-range. Got it.
Well, Miss Smith heard me over here saying that she was 1 for 6 from the field, and what a great, confident shot, mid-range shot from that young lady.
Cowgirls needed a bucket. They had missed 7 in a row, and that breaks an 8-0 run for West Virginia. 2 minutes to go. Quinterly just kind of dancing her way in there.
Yeah, great hezzy move, reading the defense. Great shot. She is an elite mid-range shooter, and right now West Virginia's got to turn up the offense. They've got to get some turnovers and go down and score the basketball.
Quinterly hasn't scored it how she normally does, but make no mistake, she is going to be a focal point for West Virginia offensively. Asi gives it away. Three-pointer, in and out. Offensive rebound, put back, good for her.
Staley Hurd, past 2 games, double-double. She's their leading rebounder for Oklahoma State. She is a fantastic player for Oklahoma State.
The shot is blocked by Magassa. 1:07 to play.
Mark Kellogg is telling his team, you must get a stop.
There's a foul on Watson. Kellogg is not happy with the call.
Yeah. I'm anxious to watch the replay on this foul.
That's 14 fouls now on West Virginia, so both teams are in the bonus moving forward. Let's take a look back.
Yes, Staley Hurd giving the ball up. Well, yeah, I mean, that's, well, like we said earlier, one coach is going to be happy and the other is not.
We got a timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout from Oklahoma State. Staley Hurd, double digits in the second half, up to 17 on the game, but time and time again, when they need to play, Staley Hurd has come through.
That's the utility player for Oklahoma State. She has said, whatever my team needs, points, rebounds, assists, steals, I'm the one to go to, and she's proven that this afternoon.
Her is a +4. She's played 38 of the 39 possible minutes that she could be on the floor.
And I love what J.C. Hoyt said about Staley Hurd. She was an elite 800-meter runner, and she said she's just built different. She has a toughness about her, and she's a true competitor.
Oklahoma State leading by 5 with the ball. A foul will send the Cowgirls to the line. This doesn't feel like a foul situation yet for West Virginia, though.
No, it's not. I mean, there's some time, and especially with West Virginia's defense. I know Mark Kellogg has a great game plan, and Ozzie right there, as you can see with the ball, she doesn't like pressure as much, and you can see that they're really aggravating her with the ball.
Mid-range jumper, too strong. Slapped out of bounds. It'll go to West Virginia. McGossa was fighting for it, couldn't bring it in.
That goes back to the foul, right? I mean, that's a great defensive possession, and depends on what your coaching philosophy is.
The officials are going to review that last play to see if it should be West Virginia ball or not.
Ooh.
And I'll say this, Latricia, regardless of
Call
how
the floor is West Virginia ball. That play is under review.
Regardless of how this review turns out, for Oklahoma State, obviously you want to make baskets. You can kind of deal with missing a shot. What you cannot have right now is live ball turnovers. So as long as you're getting a shot up at the end of a possession right now, you're feeling okay about it.
I agree. I mean, you're ahead. You don't want to force anything, but I also know the philosophy of Oklahoma State that all guards have the green light. And if you're open, knock it down. So I know J.C. Hoyt is comfortable with that, but West Virginia, see how they handled this adversity, only having, I believe, one loss coming into this game.
After review, call the floor is confirmed. West Virginia
Two
ball.
losses in this game, excuse me.
Call is confirmed. It'll be West Virginia basketball, and a reminder of what's at stake here. There's a lot of basketball left to be played this season, but the winner will end the week no worse than tied for third in the Big 12 standings, and it's still kind of packed at really throughout, as we have just played a few games here in the Big 12 schedule. But perhaps more importantly, the winner of this game secures at least a split in the season series. You got 16 teams in the league now. You're going to get into some tiebreaker scenarios for seeding for the Big 12 tournament. So if you can pick up the first victory of the leg here before you go back to Morgantown in a few weeks, that would go a long way for Oklahoma State, or subsequently for West Virginia. If you can get the win here, then you have a chance to solidify that at home in a few weeks.
This is going to be, if Oklahoma State can pull this off, it's going to be a huge win. But can you imagine that game?
Oh.
I don't know. Should we buy our plane tickets now to go watch this? Because this is such a great matchup between these two teams.
Any Mountaineer fans watching, you might as well mark that day on your calendar.
Yeah,
it's February 1st, because it's going to be a fun one out at Morgantown. 35 seconds to go in a 5-point game. Quinterly, the sidestep. Too strong, rebounded by Smith.
Love the switch there by putting 6'6", Tenon McGossa to contest the shot on J.J. Quinterly.
Cowgirls got sped up, pass too high, the turnover gives it back to West Virginia. Mountaineers really needed that turnover there.
They needed it bad, but more importantly, they need to score right here. You know, Coach Hoyt is telling them just to calm down. She's encouraging them, but big possession offensively for West Virginia.
Kick out, Quinterly tries again, too strong again. Smith gets the rebound again, and she's fouled, almost a carbon copy of the last time down the floor.
Well, I don't blame Mark Kellogg in putting the basketball in J.J. Quinterly's hands. I mean, she is their go-to player and an incredible player. And so she's the team's leading scorer, and 9 times out of 10, she's going to knock that shot down.
Smith with a chance to go to the line. All 5 of her points have come here in the second half. And this is big, because if she can make both, it's a 3-possession game.
Yeah, that's a little tougher there.
Wow.
I just like players that can get to the free throw line in these situations and knock them down under pressure. I think that's a beautiful part of the game of basketball.
Smith is only a 61% foul shooter on the year, but they needed 2 from her there, and she got both of them. It's a 7-point game with just over a dozen seconds to go in Stillwater.
Well, both teams have been fighting. This has been an unbelievable basketball game. 12.6 seconds. If I'm West Virginia, you've got to extend this game as long as you possibly can. You've got to get to the rim. I'm taking any shot possible right now. If you can get the clock stopped, even better, but they've got to put points on the board.
Oklahoma State has found a way to overcome a turnover deficit as we get a look at West Virginia's upcoming schedule. It does get a lot easier with Iowa State coming up, a trip to Arizona for a couple games as well. But the Cowgirls are -6 in the turnover category, but they're only -2 in points off of turnovers. And so while they've turned it over more, they've fought hard in that battle, and they've kept it. That's part of the reason they're in the lead. 10 seconds to go. Harrison.
Got to score.
Quinterly launches off the mark right. Smith gets her 3rd consecutive rebound, and that will seal it for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you can see J.C. Hoyt shaking Martin Kellogg's hand with tears in her eyes. She knows how